All right, hello everyone. Sorry, I was a few minutes late there. I don't know what time got away from me. All right, so hello and welcome to What's Up Wednesday. I'm just going to adjust my camera ever so slightly here, and I think I'm just going to move my stuff just a little bit too. Every time I put my camera in, it's always a little bit different. So, all right. So, hello. This is Brenda from Stamplicity, and welcome to What's Up Wednesday. All right. I am just going to get my technology in front of me here so I can watch for comments. So, here we go. All right. Hello. All right. So, as promised, we are going to do all things Pooh Bear tonight. So welcome. The rights of the Pooh Bear kind of imagery and such have been released. So we're seeing a lot of companies coming out with Pooh Bear related products, and everyone loves Pooh Bear. So we're seeing Reminisce come out, Simple Stories, Echo Park, Spellbinders. So we are going to have some fun working with some of the Spellbinders products that are available. All right. So, two of the products I'm going to be dealing with tonight. Sorry, this is a prototype. This is not the actual packaging. Spellbinders is always so kind enough to send us prototypes sometimes. But this is the Pooh Bear silhouette die, and I'm absolutely in love with this one. And I'm going to do a couple of cards working with this one, which I think is a great die. All right. I think it's great for birthdays. You can do it for little kids, even for like welcoming babies, right? Because Pooh Bear is just, people love Pooh Bear, right? So we're going to work with that. And then we're also going to work with the bundle. And this is the Classic Pooh A Better Press bundle. And there are 2 items in this one. And this is definitely for either your better press system or your foiling system. But we combine the 2 together. And we have the beautiful Friendly Moments press plates here. It's like imagery from the, authentic books, just beautifully done. So we're going to press that. We're also going to have some fun with foiling with that as well. And then we're complementing that with the Silly Old Bear sentiments. These are sentiments that, come from Pooh Bear and Piglet. And what I love about this set, it is a better press plate, but it's all the sentiments are in one. All right. And then the die will fit over top of it, and you can die cut it all at once. So you're going to press it once, you're going to die cut it once, and be done, which is really, really nice. But we're going to be foiling with these as well. So that's where we're going tonight. We're also going to try the new Lisa Horton dye-based metallic pigment inks that I showed today on Happy Hour. So I do have those here as well. And we're just going to have some crafty fun. All right. So that's where we're going tonight. So thank you all for joining us this evening. All right. So let me just kind of tidy up my area here, move things around, and we are going to get started. So we're going to start with this guy here, and we're going to do a couple of inky backgrounds with this one here. I just noticed my camera is a little crooked here, so let me see if I can straighten that out. We're going to do some inky backgrounds, and then we'll get into the better pressing and such. So I have just straight cardstock here, and I think we're going to do maybe 3 inky backgrounds. We're going to do 3 cards with this one here. We're going to do a variety of, nighttime skies. We're going to do kind of maybe a sunset sky, and then we're going to work with that metallic. All right. So I'm going to start with kind of the nighttime sky. All right. Because we're going to cut this silhouette out of black. So it's going to look really nice against that. So let me just grab my blending brushes. You're going to have to bear with me. I've been cleaning and reorganizing my studio, and I've moved everything around. So I'm trying to make things a little bit more accessible for me, but now I got to relearn where everything is. So, all right, we'll start with these brushes, and then we'll move to the other ones. All right. So we're going to do nighttime skies. So I thought I picked these out from my Distress Inks. We are going to work with this kind of color palette. So we're going to kind of do kind of a dark sky. And then we'll do some splattering on there with some white paint. And then we'll do the silhouette against it. So let me get my brushes out here. And let's do some ink blending, all right? This is probably one of my favorite things to do, is ink blending. I'm not going to lie. I just love doing it. I know when I do it, I always make things I make it look so easy. That's what everyone says. You're blending, you make it so easy. Well, it's just because I've been doing it for 20 years. So I'm going to start with Chipped Sapphire, which is kind of a darker blue, almost like a midnight blue. Ah, Sue, you noticed it. You're getting a sneak peek at something brand new, guys. I'm not going to lie. Yes, let me just move some stuff out of the way here and you can see. These are brand new glass mats. Yes, yes. And if you notice, it's branded with Stamplicity. Yes, I did these. These are my designs, everyone. All right. So I got to move the camera so you can see the Stamplicity part. All right. So let me just... There you go. You can see Stamplicity now. Yes. So for those that are attending our open house, these will be available and we have them in all different sizes. So the cat is out of the bag. Yes. See, there's the Stamplicity. Oh, right. Well, let's talk about the glass mats. You guys are getting a sneak preview only because Sue brought it up. All right. So it's funny because I was in an event, and no one picked up on it. So well done. So I will talk about these. These are glass mats. They are magnetic. We also have wonderful magnet bars. These ones are really strong. Like, honestly, they are so strong. And we got smaller versions of them as well. And oh my gosh, I'm showing you everything. All right. We even have little ruler bars that are magnetic as well. I am so excited about this. This is the large size. All right. We have a smaller size and a medium size as well. So the cat is out of the bag. Yes. So I'm really proud of it because it has taken months to develop this, working with the company, just to get it right with everything I wanted. So anyone that's watching, you got to know first. So thanks for noticing, Sue. Yeah, it is. I'm pretty proud of it. Yeah, I'm tooting my own horn. All right, so back to the inking. All right, so I'm going to grab my Chipped Sapphire here, and I am going to, now our silhouette's going to be kind of on the bottom here, so I'm not going to do the full panel here, but I am going to just start applying this Chipped Sapphire color on. And then I'm going to mix in some of the Wilted Violet and the Black Soot. So we're really going to make this into a dark background. We're working on the prices so you'll have to wait Ruby. It's not, I kind of know the prices of the glass mats, but I just have to double check that with invoicing and such, because shipping from, where did these get shipped from? California, I believe, was a little bit crazy. So we're still working, just getting that pricing right. But the magnets, we got to get the magnets priced because they were just, they were an afterthought. So that's that. So there we go. Yes, Glenna, you did see the magnets. You were the only one that kind of really brought them up after the fact, after we used them, when I used my mat, in the, Kickstart. And you noticed the magnets and were inquiring about them. So yes, so stay tuned, everyone. I'm super excited to show you this branded piece of loveliness. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. I really am. We got some more things up our sleeves as well. So, so exciting. All right, so I've got my first layer of color on there. So when you build up colors with blending, you're not going to get a perfect blend like with just one color. You have to build up. And I know everyone kind of struggles with blending. The oxide inks blend beautifully, but I know people struggle with distress inks, but you have to build up your colors and such. So I'm going to move into the second color, which is a Wilted Violet. So I've switched my brushes here, and now we're going to add this. And I'll probably go back and add a little bit more of that blue. I'm not going to put purple all over this. I'm just going to build it in sections to make it kind of a really moody sky. All right, so You have to work a little harder with the Distress inks when you're doing a blended background. I'm not going to lie. The oxides just blend so nicely on the backgrounds. But I know a lot of you have Distress inks, and I like the Distress inks because they have like a translucency to them, where the oxides are a little bit more opaque. So you don't have to work so hard because they cover a little bit better. But so you can see my blending is getting so much better because I'm applying that second layer. And then when I go back with my Chip Sapphire, kind of that third layer of color, it's going to look even better. Now, I should probably have a bigger brush, but I have this tiny little brush for my darker blues. So we're just going to keep on working at this until I am quite happy with it. So it's just the two colors I'm going to do right now. And I just did what I shouldn't have done. Normally when I do a blended background, I start off my paper and then work onto the paper and then try to stop off the paper, all right? On, then off in rotating motions. And I started right on the paper and I could see a little line there. I'll be able to blend that out, but just a good practice. All right, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now I'm really heavy-handed, so but there is a lovely blended background. Again, our silhouette is going to cover the bottom of that, so I'm not too concerned about that. But we're going to add a little bit of black in there, just to really make it into a nighttime sky. So I'm going to grab this, and this color I'm just going to really kind of focus kind of on the outside kind of edge. All right, so now if you find your edges are a little too harsh, then you just go back with your original color. So I can go back to the purple and just kind of blend over top of that black, and it will soften it just a tad bit. All right, so now we've got this really great nighttime sky, and then I can go back with my blue as well. All right. All right, I'm quite happy with that. Now, because these are water reactive, you can go in and splatter this with water, but we're going to splatter it with white paint to mimic kind of stars in the sky. I'm just going to clean off my craft mat here. So where is my water? All right, so our background is done, and what I'm going to do is now grab, I'm going to use, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to use my gloss spray from Dina, only because it's here. I was going to use gesso and just water it down and splatter, but I'm going to use the Dina spray. All right. And the reason why I like the spray is that this actually is glossy. All right. So it will dry with the gloss to it. So you have a little bit of shine to it. All right. If I were to use white paint, it would be then kind of flat. All right. So this is where everything goes wrong. I should have an apron on, but I don't, all right? Ooh. Okay, so every time I flick this, it goes everywhere but where I want it to go, and I have some dry pieces on there. Michelle makes it look so easy. Doesn't she? Like, honestly. All right, I'm gonna tap. I probably should use something a little bit stronger. There we go. Okay. So this is just going to mimic that kind of starry night sky. All right, that's a good starry night. All right. And I'm going to let this dry now. And while that is drying, I'm going to do my die cutting. All right. So I'm going to move that to the side and clean up my mess here. And let's get our die cut machine out. All right, so I'm going to grab my little Scout here and get the necessary plates. And let's open this die up. So again, this is called the Pooh Bear Silhouette. I believe that's what it is, Silhouette die. I might have that wrong. Something like that, though. All right, so I just have a piece of black cardstock here, And I'm just going to just cut a piece of cardstock so it will fit through my Scout. All right, so let's get that on. I better bring that up high enough, right? I'm wondering if I should use my bigger machine. Well, let's try it. We'll see how this goes. We want to make sure we have Christopher Robin on there and we have Eeyore. All right, so we want to make sure we have all the characters on there. All right, we've got that on there, and put my top plate on. And let's go ahead and trim this out. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. I just love the detail. Now, this is old school Pooh Bear, but there it is. Look how awesome that is, right? Like super. I love the details on there. All right, so we've got Christopher Robin, we've got Rabbit, we've got Pooh Bear with Little Piglet, Tigger, and Eeyore. Super sweet. I just got one little innard there in between Eeyore's legs there. All right, so there is our silhouette. And now, this should be dry now. We're going to put this on there. I didn't bring my inking down, but enough. But I like the little highlight that it's there, actually, so I'm okay with that. But that's going to fit on there, and look how fun that is, right? That's super fun, quick and easy. So let's go ahead and get that attached down. And I'm going to use liquid glue for it. All right, so let's get this glued down. Okay, and we're just going to match that up to our A2 panel. All right, so corner to corner, edge to edge. And tack it down, and look how fabulous that is. Quick and simple. All right, so we've got this great little nighttime scene here. The characters doing their little thing. Super sweet, right? Now let's put a sentiment on here. Now these sentiments that I have here are foiled using that press plate, all right? So I've already done, I've taken the liberty of doing that. I just foiled it on black cardstock with gold, all right? So there's lots of them. And it says, I promise you won't forget about me. I found somebody just like me. You're a real friend. It's so much more friendly with two. I'm never afraid with you. These are all little Pooh Bear sayings. Time for a little something. How I do love you. An adventure was going to happen, and silly old bear. Let's do an adventure was going to happen. And I'm going to just place that down here and look at how simple and easy that card was. Let's get my pop dots though. All right, so there is one lovely little card done. Quick and simple. All right, so... okay, there we go. All right, so card number one is done. But let's continue on. We'll do another inky background with a different kind of inked up sky. So I'm going to leave these here. And let's do another one. So let's kind of do, oh, I want to try the new metallic ink. All right. So I'm going to put a base of kind of some blues down with distress ink just to build up my base. And then we're going to go over with metallic ink. Honestly, guys, this is the first time I'm using this metallic ink. You know what? I just realized I have white paint all over my screen of my iPad. That's funny. I got flecks all over. But I got to say that they look beautiful. They look like the interference inks, all right? You can see the shimmer in there. At least I hope you can see the shimmer, but we're going to try that out. But first, I'm going to just put a base layer of some blues and the peacock feathers. Actually, I'm going to start with peacock feathers. All right, so again, I'm just going to do the same thing as I did. I'm going to start applying some of that color. I'm going to bring that color down just a little bit more than I did before. So this is going to be a little bit of a lighter sky. with this one, and we're going to kind of spatter this with gold paint. All right, so I've got kind of my first peacock feathers. I'm going to add a little bit of that salty ocean on there now. Okay. Ooh, that's a little bright. Again, I'm just going to go kind of randomly in spots. I don't want this all blue. I want some variation of color on there. Okay, so I'm happy kind of with that. All right. Now, because this is a metallic pigment ink, I am going to switch my brushes. So I kind of have a set, oops, that's not the right one. I have a set of brushes that are kind of made for my interference inks and then one for my regular dye inks. I used to not worry about it, but after a while, oh, those are really pigmented. Oh my gosh, those are juicy. Whew, okay, I'm gonna just dab that off. But I realize after a while your brushes do, ooh, this is pretty. All right, let's just go. But have a separate brush for your interference metallic pigment inks and then your dye-based inks, all right? Now, I'm not going super heavy with this because it went on so strong, but it does blend beautifully. Okay, I'm going to go a little bit stronger now. Oh, yes. Okay. So this should give us a nice little shimmer over top of our distress inks, all right? So the difference between these inks and the interference inks is that it's not going to change color on the different mediums or the colors that you work on. So interference inks will change colors if you're using it on a light surface or a dark surface, right? So this one will maintain the color, whether you're using it on a dark or a light surface, all right? Now, I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but there is definitely a lovely shimmer to that, all right? I'm gonna go even a little bit darker. I don't know if I really needed that base coat on there. Ooh, I went really dark now. I really want that shimmer to show up on camera, so I'm gonna go just a little bit heavier. They're really pigmented, I will say that. Woo! Oh, they're beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So I'm going to hold that up. I'm not sure if the camera is picking that up, but it is beautiful. All right. Beautiful metallic finish on that. Beautiful. Love it. Okay, let me clean up this mess. Now, I don't know if these are really, they are dye-based. Okay, I got to read the back of this. Well, it doesn't say if they're water reactive, but it did blend beautifully. And I got it all over me. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. Because it is a pigment ink, that means it is a slow drying ink. Now, before I go to my die cutting, I am going to splatter this with gold paint, all right? So I've got the wonderful Japanese watercolor paint here in the reddish gold. Love this stuff. I heard a rumor that they came out with a white one, and I cannot wait. All right, I did see a little preview of it. We're just waiting for more information about it, but cannot wait. Okay, so this is the reddish gold, so I'm just going to mix that up, saturate my brush, and then let's go ahead and tap that. All right, and then we're gonna let that dry, and let's go ahead and die cut our silhouette. I brought this down a little bit further, so I don't need to go as wide this time, but so again, I'm just going to do it out of black paper because I think that shows the silhouette a little bit, it shows it the best, right? But my next card, I am going to do it in craft paper just to, excellent. I'm glad that the shimmer showed on there because I get worried sometimes that the camera doesn't pick up on all the goodness, so thanks for clarifying that, Janice. All right, so I don't know if that's complete. Oh, look how fun that one is. All right, so this one here, I think I'm gonna pop dot out, pop up. So I'm just gonna grab some pop dots just to give it some dimension. I love my pop dots. So, and I just have to cut a few so I can stick it on a little rabbit here. All right, I will call that enough. Hello, hello everyone that's just joining us. It's all about Pooh Bear tonight. All right, so we've got our little silhouette here. And again, I'm just gonna line it to the bottom edge here, and it should go left to right because my papers were cut the same. All right, ooh, I love it. Ooh, I think I like, oh, I don't know which one I like better. Oops, did I take? All right, my ink is still a little wet, so pigment ink dries slow, so my adhesives don't want to stick right away because it's still wet. But there we go, little Christopher Robin. He will eventually stick down. And then let's go ahead and grab one of these ones. It's so much more friendlier with two. Promise you won't forget about me. Time for a little something. How I do love you. I found someone just like me. Let's go ahead with this one, and we'll pop dot this as well. And this one here, I'm going to put in the top. I'm going to put it in the sky. Look at my hands are all blue from that ink. So be mindful when you play around with that new Lisa Horton ink. Don't be like me and get it everywhere. All right. So let's just stick that down. And again, this may not stick right away because that ink is still wet. It is a pigment ink. Pigment inks are a slow drying ink. So that means that you can emboss over these as well. So, but there is that one. Oh, look how fun that is. Super fun. All right. So there's two. All right. Hopefully you can see the shimmer now. The difference between this is just our regular distress inks, and then this is the Lisa Horton shimmer inks. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. All right. So there is that. Love it. All right. Let's do one more with this die. We're going to change up the colors. All right. And we're going to do kind of a sunset sky for this one. So let me just... That one was my interference ink. So I'm going to do mustard seed and abandoned coral. Those are kind of my go-tos for a sunset. And then when you use them, you'll get kind of that third color where they mix, which will be more of a kind of a peachy color. All right, so I like to start with the lighter color. So I'm going to pick that up. And I'm going to kind of start at the top here and blend that on. And hopefully the inks from my hand do not transfer over. All right, so first color down. And I'm going to bring that about halfway down the color, all right? Because we're going to overlap the colors. All right, so I've got a good saturation of color there. And now let's move on to Abandoned Coral. And this one here, I'm going to start kind of at the bottom area. And then we're going to overlap those colors. So what I will do, like, I've got a pretty good blend here, and I'm pretty happy with it. But I always find when you, to brighten anything up, you go back and use that yellow color again. Yellow brightens everything up. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that yellow back up, and just starting from the top, and I'm just going to go right down to the bottom. It's just going to brighten up that Abandoned Coral just ever so slightly, but we've got a nice blend on there now. All right, so a nice sunset sky. Oh, so lovely. All right, so I'm not going to splatter this one at all. I am going to clean up my mat here. Okay, and we're going to cut the silhouette this time out of craft paper. Just something a little different. So excuse me. All right, so let's get this one cut. Ooh, this one here I think is a little bit shorter. Aha, it is not the right size. We will improvise. It's like wondering why all my characters were not fitting. Sorry, I just got a little tickle in my throat. Okay. All right, so we have the craft colored now silhouette. And I think before I attach this on, I think I'm going to better press a sentiment on the bottom here. Or do I want to put it up here? I'll put it up here. But look how fun that is, right? So let's go ahead and better press that. I guess this shows you that you can, you can better press on whatever cardstock. You're going to get the best results with better pressed paper, but it doesn't always have to be better pressed paper. Because this sentiment set is a better pressed set, but I like the sentiments and want to stamp on it, you can just use it as like kind of a stamp set. So, oh, I can't do that because it's all one. Never mind. We will just do another little sentiment on there. Ah, silly me. Silly old bear. All right, let's just glue this down. Oh, yeah. I love the one and done type of things where, you press it once, you die cut it once. But in this instance, it would have been lovely if I could just take a separate sentiment to press it. But I guess we can't have it both ways. All right, so I'm just going to glue this down. And there it is with the craft, which gives it a different look. All right. And then I'm just going to trim off the excess, which is just on the sides here. All right, so there is that one. I'll finish it off with a sentiment, maybe put some gems on there to embellish it a little bit, but there is some really quick and simple cards using that silhouette die. We've got the Nighttime Sky with some really dark colors here. That is a metallic ink from Lisa Horton, which is brand new. And then, of course, we did a sunset one as well. All right. So I think all of them are equally gorgeous. I'm really loving that metallic ink. It comes in 10 different colors, everyone, just so you know. But How fun are those? I mean, maybe I could do... That might be nice. I might mat this on a little bit of a black cardstock and maybe finish it off that way. So, but I'll finish it off camera, but there are 3 different ways of using that. All right, so I'm gonna put that to the side and we're gonna move on to the better press plates now. So let me just tidy up, reset myself here. I just want to turn on my foiling machine as well because it takes it a little bit to warm up. So let me grab that. Been a while since I foiled, so this is kind of exciting. I always say once you start, like when you bring out your foiling machine, that's, you know, it gets exciting because once you get foiling, you can't stop. Well, that's just for me anyways. So I'm just going to get this plugged in. All right, so that's going to take a few minutes to get warmed up, so I'm going to let that do its thing. In the meantime, I'm going to get some pressed imagery done, and we are going to use the other part of the bundle, which is this one here that's got those illustrations, kind of like the ones in you know, the old Pooh Bear books. Is this a new glimmer machine? No, it's not. This is my original glimmer machine. Yeah, the plates aren't on top, if that's maybe what you're wondering. Mine is, I always think I need a new one because sometimes it doesn't start warming up right away. So it's a well-used one. So we're just going to hope for the best and that will start warming up. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem foiling. I've had mine for years. All right, let's see if that works now. Okay, so there are 2 press plates in this one here. And we're going to press them both. We're going to do some little watercoloring and such. So we have the one with Pooh and Piglet kind of walking down a laneway. And the other one is Christopher Robin with Pooh Bear and Piglet. All right. So let me get my press machine out. My goodness, I got so much going on here. We got foiling. We got better press. We're going to need the die cut machine. Hopefully there'll be enough room for everything on camera. All right, so this is better press paper. I always say that you get the best results with better press paper. It's not saying you can't do it on regular cardstock, but you're really going to get that impression the best when you use better press paper. So there are heavier cardstocks out there in terms of watercolor paper that you can use, but I still find the Spellbinders paper is the best. All right, so I'm just lining up my paper in amongst the corner guides on here, and then it is turned on, but it's not warming up. Let's see if that works. Sometimes I have to wiggle it in something. Mine is so old. So, okay, so I'm going to grab the first little plate here. And I'm just going to center this one. This is the one with Christopher Robin in there. So I'm going to use the guidelines here and kind of center it as best I can. Oh, I think it's warming up now. I think I'm starting to get some warmth there. Okay, so I have it. And we're just going to do this with black ink. All right, so I know, honestly, so the glimmer machines are out of stock right now, and that's why I don't have, I really do need a new one. I think I've probably dropped it. Is the power, yeah, the power bar is turned on. I have power to it. My light is on. See, this is the things that you should check before you go online, so it's not like... Oh, I think we're good now. I don't know. We will try. All right, let's just go back to pressing right now. All right, so I'm just going to ink this up with black ink. All right. And again, I'm using the big ink pad. I like the big ink pad when it comes to bigger plates like this. And I'm doing kind of a twisting motion just to make sure that the ink is on. And my rule of thumb is if you're questioning if you got all the ink on there or if you covered it all, just go over it again. All right. Only so much ink can go on. All right. So that is all ready to go. We're going to take our top plate with our paper on there and we are going to stick it on the magnets. And now get the bigger die cut machine out. And let's run this through. And wait till you see this image. Yeah, it's warming up now, everyone. All is good. It's just my machine, that's all. And once it warms up, it's fine. It's just initially, I don't know, maybe I'm just impatient. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me just bring that up to the camera. Hopefully you can see that. It is just like an illustration from the book, which I love. All right, so there is that one. Oh, so pretty. I love it. Okay, so let's put that to the side. And I'm going to take this off and let's press the other one. You know, it doesn't get old. It's just like embossing. Like I love watching the embossing powders melt and such. Like it's just fascinating. I think the same thing with Better Press as well. Honestly, I am just so amazed how beautiful and crisp that image is. It is just like it's just fantastic. Okay, so this one is Pooh Bear with Piglet, and I think I'm going to move this down to the bottom kind of corner here. I'm not going to center this one. Just make sure that I don't know. It's hard to tell whether it's straight or not, but I think I got it. All right, and then we're going to do this in black as well. Oh, Isabella, really? Okay, so this is I mean, this is pretty foolproof, the Better Press, honestly. I know the first time. So I was one of the first recipients to receive a Better Press system. I was taking a class at the big show, which we call NAMTA. And this is when they first released it. And this was years ago. And we did it. And they walked us through and we did it. And I remember Sherry from the Paper Crafters Workshop was beside me. And we both looked at each other with our mouths like hanging open and just in awe because it was just, oh my gosh, it was just amazing. Oops, my paper fell down. My tape is losing its stickiness, I think. But it's just an aha moment with that Better Press because it really is pressed in there. All right. It really, really is pressed in there. Okay. So that is on. Let's get the die cut machine. And everything is this springy action on these little magnets and springs. That's all it is, right? It's not until you put it through the machine where the pressure happens, where that gets pressed into the paper. It is just so much fun. All right, let's have that aha moment. And da-da-da. Oh, look how cute that is. Pooh Bear and Piglet, so sweet. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to watercolor these as this is still warming up. All right, and just do a quick watercoloring with these with some distress inks. Now, if you've never foiled before with the glimmer machine, as it does this, the platform takes a while to warm up, and once it warms up, the little green light will say platform ready. So my platform is ready. So what I'm going to do is just get things organized for this. When you have a plate like this, where it's quite large and it's a full plate like this, it takes a little bit longer to warm up. So I'm just going to stick that on and let it do its thing. Now, ooh, that is hot already. I will tell you, and I don't know if you can see that, there is a grid line on the glimmer machine here. And what I've done is I've taken like a black magic marker or a black pen, and I've kind of highlighted the corners where an A2 panel will fit in there. So this way, when I go to put an A2 panel over top of it, I'm just going to use my little pen marks so I know exactly where my paper goes, and then I can center my image in amongst those pen markers. All right. It doesn't affect, I've never had the pen marks transfer over to my paper, but it just gives me the guidelines so that I can put my paper in the right spot and I can put my plate in the right spot. All right, so I'm going to let this warm up a little bit, and we're going to come back to this. I got to find my foils as well. But we're going to go ahead and start just doing some simple watercoloring with this. Now, I don't know if I'll get these all done, but I will get a good start at it. All right, so we've got, I'm going to use some of the colors that I have here. So I'm just going to go right on my craft glass mat here with my distress inks. You can use watercolors. You could use distress inks, anything that's water-based. And I'm going to use my water brush here if they have water in them. Okay, this one is good, it looks like. All right, so I'm just going to pick up some of that blue. And I'm going to go in and color. Ooh, that's a lot. That's really blue. I'm just going to add a little bit more water. All right, so now I got way too much water. Oh my gosh. Okay. So the Better Press paper is great for applying watercolors on there. It accepts it really, really nicely. So I'm just going to go in, and what I think this is water. They're on a bridge, right? So honestly, very quick watercoloring here. Okay. I would spend a little bit more time on this, but because we're doing the live, I'm going to go quickly. And of course, I would do a little bit better shading on here as well. But for the sake of the time here, I'm just going to go really quickly. Okay, so you can see you don't need a whole lot of color to really accentuate this imagery. Okay, so there's that. And I did not grab green, but I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow to make green. So I'm going to grab a little bit of that blue and mix it in. And now we have green. All right. Now, normally I would let things dry in between before I start, doing colors beside one another, but you can see how easy it is. Now, the imagery looks beautiful by itself, just in black and white, but that little bit of color, all right, is just lovely. Guess I didn't do all the water. Get a little bit more blue there. Finish our water up there. I mean, really quick and simple, and you can see that. All right, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to get some foil, and let's foil these images as well. Okay, so give me 1 second. And move these out of the way. Okay, what color to do? What color to do? All right, let's do one. I'm going to do one in black, and then I'm going to do one in, we'll do one in gold as well. Oh, there's a copper one. That would be fun. I'm going to do copper instead of gold. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a piece of our foil here to size, and this is the black, which I really love because it goes on like really shiny. Okay, so I think we're good here. All right, so when you go to foil, you are going to put your colored side down. And I know everyone gets confused as which way the foil goes, especially if you haven't done it for a while. So I always say the plate needs to kiss the color, all right? So that is how we're going to do that. I've got that on there, and then I'm gonna grab a piece of cardstock, and I'm gonna place that in amongst my guides, all right? And then I'm gonna hit the timer, all right? So this is gonna continue warming it up. When the timer goes off, then I'm gonna run it through my machine. So just gonna get my spacer plaids here. I'm just gonna put them on. Now, I'm gonna move this out of the way. And now we're going to wait as that does. Yeah, you know what? There's so much opportunity that you could do on this one and what you want to do. Definitely, if you really wanted to focus on Christopher Robin and Pooh Bear, that would be enough to emphasize that, and that's maybe what I should have done. But you can see how easy it is. It's a really quick and easy coloring. I think watercolors is the way to go on this one. On this one as well, just a few highlights I think would be just awesome on that. So, can you use the metallic pad on the press plate? Well, we'll find out, Glenna. After we are done foiling, we'll go back to that press plate and we'll use that. I do have all the colors here. I just have to grab them. I just don't know what I've done with them, but we'll find more. A more appropriate, not a blue. But there is a beautiful titanium color and a bronze one. We'll do it in the bronze. That is a good idea, Becca. And yes, because we always seem to forget which way the foil goes. It's always that kind of thought going, oh, which way do we go? That's a great idea to write on Sharpie. Okay, so my timer stopped flashing. It is green now. That means it's ready to go. So I'm going to grab this. And now I'm going to run this through my machine. You don't need any extra plates. And when you do this, you go through once. And that is it, all right? So I tend to go a little bit slower when I'm turning the handle on this. I want to make sure I got good pressure. It's not like you're die cutting, so you want to go a little bit slower than you are die cutting. All right, so I've gone through. I'm going to take my whole platform, and then what I do is I put it right back into there so it can continue warming up, because once you start foiling, you tend to do quite a lot of it, all right? So now, oh, please work, please work. All right. Here we go. Oh, thank goodness it worked. All right, so there it is. And now, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but we've got a beautiful sheen on that. It is beautiful. That turned out pretty awesome, I gotta say. Now, because it turned out so well, I never get rid of these, because look at that. We have a perfect imagery that we can do the opposite of. And if I knew where my solid plates were right now, I would show you how to do that. But because I'm in the process of cleaning up and reorganizing, I don't know where my solids are. But I never throw these away, especially when you get such a good foil. That is like perfect, all right? So you're going to be able to use those solid plates, and then you can warm that up and do the opposite, and you're going to get the negative, which is pretty awesome. So I'm just going to put that in a safe spot. And I'm going to take this guy off, let that cool down, and then we're going to try those metallic inks, all right? So I'm just going to let that cool down, and let's go for the other one, which is Missing in Action. All right, anyone know what I did with it? Aha, it's still on my Better Press. So let's go ahead, get this warmed up. Again, I'm going to center it in amongst my little guidelines I have on there. I'm going to give that a few seconds to warm up. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and cut my copper foil. And I'll bring all these back in camera view. I'm limited on space on my little desktop here. So we're going to do this lovely copper color. The solid plates are kind of a tricky thing to do. I'm not going to lie. It takes a lot of practice with it, and they really got to be warmed up, like really. Like honestly, I will warm mine up for like 15 minutes, and then some. Oops. I'm just cutting my foil just a little bit smaller to size, so it's going to fit on there. Okay, we're just going to let that warm up a little bit more. This is ready to go. We got paper. Okay, maybe I don't have paper. What did I do with my paper? That's better press paper. I don't know where my cardstock went. Oh my gosh, like really, Brenda? I hope I make you feel all good. Like I am just sometimes a bit of a mess here. Those are better press papers. Okay, well. Just let me go grab another piece of paper because I don't know what I did with mine. Does anyone also have like pre-cut panels like ready to go all the time? I learned that from Jennifer McGuire. I actually have a little assortment of my different papers in a little holding case, and it's perfect. So, all right, so this should be good and warm now. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my foil, and I'm gonna place that down. I'm gonna grab my paper and place that down. Oopsie. I'm gonna start the timer. Now, everyone does it a little bit different. Some people won't put their top plates on till they're ready to go through their machine. Either or, it's fine. What you do you. That's what I always say. All right, so we're just going to wait for this to warm up now. Yeah, so I'm just seeing everyone's comments about the solid plates. Yeah, they are just... I found they are tricky, but you just have to like let your plate warm up and warm up and warm up. So that's that. And I'm glad that everyone else does have your pre-cut panels. It makes life so much easier. Okay. This is the worst, is the waiting game. Especially when you're not patient. Oh, I'm loving these imageries. Like I'm just looking at that and it's just so stunning. So nice. Okay, timer went off. All right, so we're ready to go. So I'm gonna kind of just pull this out very carefully and let's run this through again. Run it through once and you're gonna go through slow. All right. And this we did in the copper. All right, so that kind of, I think it's a copper satin. I think it's one of the bundles. All right. In a moment. Ooh, the copper is beautiful. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I'm so happy that turned out. All right, there is the copper. That is fantastic. Oh, so pretty. Pooh Bear looks so good. All right, again, my negative is it's done really well. So I'm going to keep that. And once I find my solid plates, I will do my best to do that. So I'm just going to put that in a safe spot. All right, I'm going to move my foiling machine off camera now. I'm going to turn it off because I really want to try that metallic ink. So move this to the side and move that, and let's get our better press out again. So, all right, so better press paper. So we're going to use, I'm going to go grab my bronze metallic ink. All right, so that is going to be the new Lisa Horton ink that we're referring to. The interference inks work really well with the Better Press, so my thoughts are this is going to work really well as well. All right, so this one should be cooled off. Yes, it is. So let's put that on there. And then just give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to grab that other ink. Okay, I have all the ink colors here so I can kind of show you them. So we have the ultraviolet, which is that purple, verdigris, all right, which is that green, fool's gold, and then we have the bronze. That's what I'm going to use now. There is sunshine, there is love struck, pumpkin, titanium, and then of course the two that I have here, which is the blue, which I use, which is coastline, and then the mojito, all right, which is kind of a lighter green. I haven't opened that one up, but the blue one is the one I used previously. I did bring them all home because I didn't know what colors I was going to use, but we're going to try the bronze on this. So let's see. Okay, good question, Isabella. Okay, so what Pink Fresh as well as Spellbinders used to carry them, but I know they've kind of revamped them. But Pink Fresh has what they call like a solid rectangle plate. It is probably just a little bit bigger than an A2 size. And then basically you're going to heat it up the same way as you would that we've been doing with these plates. And then you can put the negative with the paper, and then you're going to get the negative. So basically that whole foiled image will get foiled onto the paper, and it will actually kind of look like this. So it'll be the reverse. So honestly, there's really no waste if you use that solid plate, but there is like a learning curve to it. But this here, the excess here, well, I'll show you what else you can do with it. If you don't have the solid plate, and you know, there's a lot of foil there that is still good. You can actually, let me grab, all right. Okay, we're just going on a little tangent here, all right, guys? So just bear with me. All right, so I have a piece of scrap paper. This is actually when you have a double-sided adhesive that's a strong one. I have the ultra strong adhesive on here. You can actually, so I'm going to ruin this design. I won't use it, but you can actually put this down on adhesive and give it a burnish, and that will come off like that as well. So anything that's got a good stickiness to it, the bonding embossing powder would work as well. Something that's sticky, and then you can use all this excess foil, and it will stick. All right. So even if, all right, if I put on here, even if I use the part where like Pooh Bear is, okay, and I don't have that solid, it's not fullness because I've done it where there was part of the image, I can go back and just burnish that on and fill in those spots. So you don't lose any of this foil. If you're very thrifty and want to use it all, this is a great way of using it to create little embellishments and borders on there, but you're going to be able to do that. So, all right, so there is that. Yeah, so that's just another way of using it. So hopefully that answered your question. All right, on to, here we go, guys. Are you ready? Let's see how this works. Okay, let's see this bronze. All right, beautiful. Now, these are really saturated with ink, all right? So I would go really kind of light touch. Don't be pushing it too much. All right, I think that is good and coated. Okay, let's get our paper and let's try this. Here we go. Glenna, here comes the answer to your question. Sticky sheets would work as well. You could die cut those sticky sheets and then put the foil on there. Anything that's going to be good and sticky. Oh, there you go, Ruby. You'll be busy for the next little bit using all those negatives. All right, here we go. Are you ready? Oh, guess what? It works, everyone. Ooh, look how beautiful that is. And it's got a beautiful shimmer. Hopefully, you can see that. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but these metallic, oh, they do. So I had a little bit of excess ink on the top, and that's just because I wasn't careful inking it. But there is a beautiful metallic to that. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, I love it. I'm just taking it in, guys. Now, remember, this is a pigment ink, so that means it's going to take a little bit longer to dry. So either let it air dry overnight or zap it with a heat tool, all right? So there is, and that will dry it. My heat tool is not plugged in right now, so I'll just let it air dry. But look how fantastic that is. I don't know if the camera's picking up that metallic, but it's beautiful. Oh, so, so pretty. All right. So let me just bring out, I'm going to finish a lot of this stuff off camera. I'll finish watercoloring. This one I think I'm just going to leave as is. I might take a little bit of brown ink and just ink the edges, maybe give it a little bit of gold splatter, but I'm just going to leave it as is. I think it's beautiful the way it is. And then this one here, we'll get that kind of die cut out and mounted. That one, so that's foiled, and then that's the black foiled one, all right? So hopefully you can see the sheen there, all right? So those are the foiled ones, and they turned out absolutely stunning. And then we have our pressed ones. So we have the one with the metallic ink, and then this is just black pressed with a little bit of watercoloring, and then we'll do something fantastic with that. And then where did my other ones go? They're gone. Here they are. Then we had our little silhouette ones with the little sunset sky. Again, I'll finish these off camera and the inky backgrounds, all right? So there we go. Pooh Bear explosion on here. Lots of different techniques on how to do those in different ways. But that is it for me this evening, guys. So that is that, all right? Hopefully you enjoyed some and learned something from this evening. I really appreciate you joining us on this Wednesday evening. And until next time, everyone, have yourself a wonderful night. We'll talk to you soon.